In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial from my group on how to illustrate this simple backless free jumpsuit. So I'll be sharing a little illustration on how to achieve this. This dress is from Oma's Closet and ready to wear vendor in Owerri. So to start for this pattern, I'm not going to use my actual measurement. I'm going to be using a smaller measurement for it. So if you notice in front of my pattern, I have a line that is the crotch extension of this dress. So I'm going to cut the upper part and the lower part together, and there's another method where you also cut out the waistline. So I'll be explaining two methods in this. So I've marked out all the basic measurements: shoulder to bust, under bust. Now for your trouser, for the hip point, you need at least 10 inches after your waistline. Then place your tape from your waist and get your knee point. So this is not my actual hip or knee point. I'm just using this measurement as a guide to mark this out. So your waist to hip point for this pattern is 10 inches, and then get your knee point from your waist. Now I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2, but I'll not add my actual shoulder. I'm going to add extra 1 inch to my shoulder, come down by 1 inch, and I'll draw out my shoulder slope. From my shoulder, I'll mark what I have on the shoulder on the bust line, because I don't really need the chest line for this pattern. I'm just going to slant it down. So if you want, you can also mark out your chest line. So I'll go ahead to mark my bust measurement divided by 4. So this pattern is a free dress. Whatever measurement you're adding, add extra inches to it to allow it to be free on your body. So now mark your bust circumference and add ease to your pattern. Here you're going to mark your under bust circumference. You can add 1 to 2 inches for ease, and also repeat that on your waistline. So you're not going to actually use your measurement, because this dress is a lot free, so you want to make it free. So for your waist, you can actually go ahead to mark your waistline and add extra 2 or 3 inches to it, because the waist area is very free. Now on the hip point, you mark your hip circumference divided by 4, and after you're done marking that, you're going to add extra inches to your hip point. That is extra 2 or 3 inches depending on how free you want the dress to be. Now after I'm done marking that, whatever I have on the knee, on the hip, sorry, that is what I'll take all the way to the lower part of the dress, because if you notice, the dress is free starting from the hip to the lower part. After that, I'm going to go ahead to connect. Please note, I'm not using my exact measurement for this pattern, because my pattern paper is small and I want my measurements to fit into the pattern paper that I'm using. Next, you want to determine where your neckline will start. So you can use at least 4 inches, 5 inches of the shoulder. So remember, at the shoulder part of this dress, we added extra 1 inch to our actual shoulder. This is to give room for the ruche on the dress. So after that, you're going to blend from that part all the way going down to the waistline. So here I'll just measure what I have here, and to make sure what I have is in line. So I'll just go ahead to blend here out a bit, and I'll reconnect it. So by the time you gather the neckline of the dress, it will give you that the gathers at the neckline. That is, you're going to create a little channel to pass your rope around the neckline going to the back this way. Now this will slant to the end of your pattern. So after you're done cutting this out, we're going to go ahead to work on the front part of this pattern. So also for this pattern, you can cut it together this way, or after cutting it, you cut it out from the waistline, join the trouser part separately, then the upper part you cut it on fold. That is the part on top of your dress, you cut it on fold, then join it to the trouser, and then join the back. Or you can decide to cut it as one piece this way, then have a joining at the front part of your dress. So next you want to mark out your crotch, and the next thing you do is to sit on a flat surface, measure from your waist to the flat surface. So whatever measurement you have, mark and add extra 1.5 to 2 inches for ease on this trouser because it's a free trouser. Then mark it to your extension. So for your trouser extension, crotch front extension, to get that is your hip measurement divided by 16. So mine is 2 inches. Then whatever you get as your extension, add extra 1 or 2 inches to it because this trouser pattern is free. Then go ahead to connect it all the way up. So coming to this side, you can go in by 1 inch or 1.5, and then you're going to slant it from there to the knee point, and from the knee point you're going to take it all the way straight down. So I'm not able to connect it to my own knee because my knee point is a bit shorter. So connect from that crotch area, and you're going to go ahead to connect to the knee, then take it all the way down. So you now cut this out. So just like I was saying, you can cut this out. So after this, I'll just go ahead to mark the lower part, which will be cutting 2 pieces. Then you're going to create like a fabric to turn the neckline area of the dress. So after I'm done making this, now the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to cut out the back pattern. So for the back pattern, just like I said, you can cut this as one piece this way, or you can go ahead to cut it the upper part and rejoin. So for the back pattern of this dress, I'm using at least 1 inch upwards for the back. So the front will be meeting the back pattern at least 1 inch. So this is so that the waistline won't be too low. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to be adding an extension for the back, which is about 2 inches for the crotch area, and I'll mark my crotch extension. So for your crotch extension, if you have 2 inches, you can add extra 1 inch. This is because of the trouser is free and is not tight on the body. Now I'll go ahead to take this up, and after that point, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to add about 2 inches on top, which will serve as the butt allowance at the top, so that the dress won't be dragging at the back. So from here, I'll extend it all the way to the side, and after I'm done extending it, I'm going to go ahead to cut out exactly. So this will make the back side of this dress bigger than that of the front, because the back of the dress is actually bigger and it has like an elastic. And I'm going to go ahead to connect this, and here I'll be marking ½ inch at the front of this pattern for the back pattern, and I will be going ahead to connect. And after I'm done connecting, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out for the back. So after I'm done cutting this, I'm done with this tutorial, and I'll go ahead to cut this out.